Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to the latest spin. I'm Mike Spinner, Student Athlete World USA, and it's Thursday. It's late. I'm tired, but I'm in costume. And it has nothing to do with what we do, but it has everything to do with what we do all at the same time. And I'll explain myself before I confuse you. So this is my USA hockey jersey. I'm in a celebratory mood tonight when it comes to hockey for a few reasons. One of which is the U.S. women's hockey team at the Olympics today. If you missed it, and you missed a lot, the USA women's hockey team today won the gold medal in overtime over Canada. One of the all-time great Olympic hockey games you will ever see. If you missed it, my goodness, did you miss something amazing? Just a sports spectacle that we're going to hear about for a while. Now, if you don't follow international women's ice hockey, number one, you're missing out. Number two, it's a situation where there's only really two good teams usually on the international stage in women's ice hockey. The sport just hasn't achieved the type of growth yet where you're seeing parity across the board. So the US and Canada have had this rivalry where they're playing for the gold medal almost every single year. And this year, it looked like the U.S. was going to steamroll its way to a gold medal. They beat Canada like 5-0 in the preliminary round. So today's gold medal game beginning felt like it was going to be kind of a walkthrough. And then all of a sudden, Canada strikes first goal given up by the U.S. the entire tournament. Minute and a half, 2 minutes left in the game. U.S. ties it, forces overtime, boom, wins in overtime. Unbelievable goal. They're a gold medal winning team. So I'm celebrating them tonight. Congratulations to the U.S. women's ice hockey team. And then the U.S. men's ice hockey team tomorrow will play in the Olympic semifinals. And it's just been an unbelievable tournament. They beat Sweden yesterday in overtime to make the semifinals. And having all NHL players playing for the men's ice hockey tournament just makes it, in my opinion, the best Olympic event of them all. So just amazing stuff with Olympic ice hockey. So I'm feeling very festive. I'm dressed up for the part tonight. Now you must be thinking this guy must make lots of money because he was able to afford these like $250 USA Olympic ice hockey jerseys. And the answer is I do not make that kind of money, Tim. But I found this amazing website that sells knockoff sports jerseys. Not nearly as good as the real thing, but quality enough that you're buying it for like $40. And these jerseys, the real thing, are like $250 each. So I order a lot of hockey jerseys through this website. If you're interested in knowing who they are, Mike at studentathleteworld.com. I'm happy to share. But they sell like almost every sports jersey. All knockoffs, not amazing quality, but good enough for $40 expenditure. So tonight, I'm not going to dive too deep into the tours. I'm going to kind of use the Olympic theme and just talk about something that, you see during the Olympics. And I think this year I've watched this Winter Olympics probably more so than any other year because I do work from home. So during the day, as I'm getting work done, I'll turn on whatever's happening during the Olympics. And I love the Olympics. It's like my favorite time of year every 2 years. And I'm sitting there today, just thinking about after the U.S. won the women's hockey gold medal. You look at the emotion of winning this thing and the excitement, and some of them cried. And it wasn't that, they won the gold medal, the championship. Like, you get emotional anytime you win a championship, any sport, any level. But just the genuine pride that they felt representing their country on a big sports stage and winning a championship. And it did make me think about this, Shop. It made me think about what we do. There's not a comparison between our tours and the Olympics in terms of the scope of the athletic event. But the pride you feel wearing a USA jersey, representing your country and competing in your sport that we see on display every night during the Olympics is something that does make this experience special for our travelers. The scale may be smaller, but the emotion does not change. And so if you're watching this, like my message for the night about us, Student Athlete World, what we do is every time you see an American win a gold medal, especially, or a medal, or just compete really well at the Olympics, just know that feeling of pride they get to represent their country. It doesn't change, even though we're not the Olympians. It's the same idea. You don't get many, or in some cases, any opportunities to represent, excuse me, the United States in your sport. And when you do, it is pretty special. It is pretty amazing. It's wonderful. It's unforgettable. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. And so as we are now in the fourth quarter, kind of the final chapter of our rostering for the coming year, for our tours that are coming up in just a few months, if you're in that boat where you're thinking about doing this, but you're not quite sure yet, watch the Olympics. See how proud these athletes are to represent their country, any country for that matter. And just understand you get that opportunity with us. And it might be the only time you ever get it. So as much as, again, I can't correlate our tours to the Olympics. It's a different scale of sport when it comes to how it makes you feel. It is the same thing. Just some food for thought as we get to celebrate USA tonight. And now what in the world? What in the world this week? I don't know, Tim, if we've ever gotten this as a sponsor, but McDonald's. What in the world is brought to you by McDonald's? Because, this whole hot honey craze is, to me, has been baffling for a long time. I just don't think of hot honey as being appetizing, like spicy honey. It just doesn't make sense. And I don't eat a lot of honey. I love spicy food. I don't eat a lot of honey, to be honest. But McDonald's has entered the hot honey craze. So the intrepid foodie that I am hit the drive-through yesterday, got a snack wrap, hot honey chicken, and I was like blown away. I couldn't believe it. It was delicious. And I rarely equate McDonald's with being delicious because I don't think it's very good anymore. It's been a while since I'm look forward to McDonald's, but their hot honey is no joke. So McDonald's, welcome aboard as a sponsor. And what in the world this week? And there's just so much going on in the world of sport that we can say what in the world about. But I'm going to talk a little bit about Kansas State basketball. So their coach is on administrative leave this week, and I believe going to lose his job because he gave a press conference after a game where his team did not compete and talked about how at that moment his team did not deserve the jersey they were wearing because they're not competing. They're not playing well. They're not playing hard enough. And here's the deal. Maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, coach should get in trouble for something like that. But here we are in this viral world where coaches have cameras, high-level coaches have cameras in their faces all the time. And they're expected to speak. They're expected to give an opinion. They're expected to break things down into some minutia after every game. What was so wrong with what this coach said? Because if they're playing well, half his team might want to leave by transfer portal anyway. And what he's saying is you have to earn the jersey. I respect that. I'm not punishing that. I respect it. Maybe he's a little bit condescending and slightly insulting with what he had to say. But what he's doing in that case is publicly holding his players accountable. And you know what? With NIL and big school Division I athletics, these kids are getting paid probably decent money to not play hard enough. And I feel like what's happening there is most likely a scenario where they're trying to find a way to get him out. They're looking for that golden ticket to terminate this guy. And I just think that is like more wrong than a lot of the other wrongs we're seeing in college athletics right now. You know, if he had gone on this press conference and said the school doesn't support basketball, or our facilities stink, or our uniforms are bad, or we don't get enough support, fine. Get rid of the guy. He did not portray the institution negatively. What he did was he essentially said, if you're going to wear this jersey, you're going to be held accountable to play at a certain standard that my team is currently not playing. And I want them to play better. And you're punishing him for that? You're maybe firing him for that? That's cause for termination? No. That is a coach holding his players accountable in an era when every single player on his team is going to be a free agent at the end of the season, many of which are getting paid, if not all of which are getting paid. So I just find that, like, if you don't like what your coach is doing, find a better reason to get rid of him than holding his own players accountable. All right. And it's a bad look, a very bad era. Don't like what I see. I say this all the time here. NIL plus transfer portal is ruining college athletics. It's killing it. It's really, like, the impact is really not great. And I think what's happened at Kansas State is an even worse look. Just my opinion. That's it for the latest spin this week. Is always great fun. And as we're steamrolling through the fourth quarter, there is only one way to make this memory that will last a lifetime. Just like you're seeing during the Olympics. You can represent your country, maybe win a championship, and have that moment that you're seeing Americans have these last couple of weeks. Go to studentathleteworld.com, complete your application, interview with me, and pack your bags. We'll see everyone next week. Have a great week, and go USA.